Good morning, guys. Wow, this camera is really good because it is very dark. As a matter of fact, out that window, that's a little bit of the sunrise, but it is very dark. It is 6:20 in the morning. I'm sitting out in front of a Starbucks coffee, and it is. It said it was open at 4:30 in the morning. When I saw that on my Google Maps app, I was like, "Whoa, 4:30 in the I can go out and edit my videos starting at 4:30 and be on the road by now, probably." Unfortunately, 4:30 in the morning is when the drive-thru is open, and when the interior of the Starbucks is open at 6:30, which we're getting close to. It's 6:21. So I figured I'd talk to you guys for about 10 minutes or so about an interesting topic. Approached me last night. Literally approached me. So, for those of you that don't know, my name's Matt. I'm used to cycling as a form of travel. Cycling is different than van life, and Asia is a lot different from America. so there's a lot of differences there. I'm trying to adjust to this new form of lifestyle, because what I want to do here is with van life is make it a lifestyle. I want to roam around the world, find interesting people to tell stories, get them into my van. No candy, no children, but get them into the back of the van and find out what makes them tick. Find out what their interesting story is, and allow them an opportunity in a very, very interesting environment. I was even thinking, because I want to put windows around the van so that you can see the world around you. And I'm sure that there will be some people in cities like Albuquerque and stuff, where I'm in Albuquerque right now, that probably live in an area that's, I don't know, not so attractive. I'm in a parking lot. We got the Dollar Tree, we got Urban Wellness, in a Starbucks drive-thru. And what would be interesting is to create a podcast where part of the podcast is the place that he takes me or she takes me. So if I meet a musician in Albuquerque, maybe I contact them beforehand, and the podcast we do in the back of the van, but a vlog episode of the podcast, or a vlog episode with that guy, maybe I do a vlog and a podcast, would be him introducing me to his favorite spot to play music at someplace beautiful. So that would be a very interesting way to do it. Cycling didn't allow me that sort of mobility, but in this case, hey, sit down. We'll take a tour around Albuquerque in your life here. Then we'll go to someplace beautiful where the scenery will decorate the video podcast. We'll sit back in my studio and we'll tell your story, and we'll also get an interesting perspective in a beautiful place that and also obviously the perspective of the view outside the windows won't be a Starbucks drive-through parking lot. But that's far down the road. First, I need to convert this van into something that will be beautiful and comfortable and welcoming and interesting to people watching. And so that's not going to take a few days. It's going to take more. So I'm on my way to Flagstaff for this big event where I'm going to look at a lot of these different sorts of van builds and talk to suppliers and stuff. But I'm way off topic. So I'm driving to Flagstaff, and I'm stopping wherever I can. Yesterday I stopped in an area and I parked in a parking lot. I was like the only vehicle in the parking lot, and so I felt very nervous. So I moved to another parking lot. Some of them I'm sleeping through the night, but it's not a nice, restful sleep because I'm worried about, people coming out and telling me. And last night it actually happened. I was at a Flying J, which is a truck stop. And a guy at 1 o'clock in the morning knocked on my window. And so I came out I was sleeping. I was sleeping good, actually. I woke up, though, because he knocked, and I came out, and kind of weird. He was wearing a flak jacket. He was just local security. He wasn't anything special, but he comes out in a flak jacket and he says, "You need to move. This isn't for overnight parking." I said, "Okay, no problem. Where's overnight parking?" And he's like, "The dirt lot over there." So I moved over to the dirt lot. There was a lot of other vans and semis and stuff there. Now, I'm traveling to try to get from point A to point B real quick, and point A to point B is very, very far apart. Eventually, I would love to be able to like go to more beautiful places. I'm parking in dirt lots, which is an interesting thing that you can do with van life. I mean, you can sweat through nights in these places. I wouldn't want to have set up a tent at that dirt lot if I was cycling. Although if I was cycling, I wouldn't be doing the distances. I traveled 700-800 miles yesterday, and that would have taken me, that would have taken me a week and a half on the trike. So there's always give and take. But I feel like van life is a bit more intrusive than cycling, and you have to be welcomed areas. Whereas when you're cycling, you could find areas where, welcomed or not, you could be hidden, stealth camping. And you can't quite be that stealth when you're in a big van, even if the van looks like a plumbing van, which is what this van looks like. It looks like just a big work van, and so it does look somewhat stealth. It doesn't really matter because there's no vans allowed here, or you're not allowed in this parking lot. I'm curious to see how this situation plays out, because I did like move around a lot yesterday, but it's nice that you don't really have to set up a tent. It's all back there, so I just wake up, throw off the blanket, and I'm good to go. But it's an interesting difference between cycle touring and van touring. I actually pulled the inverter out of this van. It had power, but I took it out because I was pulling the walls off. Everything was pulled out of it, so I can't charge my laptop. That's why I have to wait for Starbucks, because I can't finish. I drained my battery in my laptop, and so I need to get back into that Starbucks so I can plug my laptop in and finish those videos and get them uploaded. That won't be a problem in the future of this van. The future of this van will be this van will be a roaming, powered, working space, and I'll have the solar panels charging my batteries to the extent that at least I could charge my laptop. If I drain the batteries to zero, I know at least, on a sunny day, I'll be able to get some juice from those solar panels enough to power my laptop. Heating and cooling and whatnot, I can, I'll have to, figure out whether I use the alternator. Alternator is the word I did not know. When you're cycle touring, you could set up a tent. You are more vulnerable, but you're also less valuable to potential people, and you're more hidden. Like, you can hide a tent in a way that you can't hide a van. And I'm trying to accept the idea that I'm more protected in some ways, but I'm more vulnerable in other ways. And it's very, very interesting. And I'm curious to see how, because when I was cycle touring, I remember when I first entered Korea, and I had just taken the ferry over, and in the ferry I was very protected. I was in a bunk. I had my phone that was tethered to my Chinese account. Once we got on the water, everything was disappeared. All my connections disappeared, but I was on the boat. There was nowhere to go. But the second I entered Korea, even though Korea is a very, very safe country, and over time I realized that, there was this fear of, how am I going to get my phone? How am I going to find places to stay? Is this, what am I going to do every day? How am I going to get food? How am I going to find toilets? All of this stuff. And you fast forward, almost a decade, and no problem. You put me in a new country, and I'm rocking and rolling. But now I'm in this van, and although I understand the idea of traveling, I understand the idea of full-time traveling, that's no problem for me. In fact, this van makes full-time traveling easier in a lot of ways. There's also a lot of questions that will need to be answered. Paying for gas, dealing with parking places, doing overnight stays, showering, making sure you're safe. I understood how to keep myself safe on the trike, my cycle tour, but I'm not wholly aware how to keep myself safe in the van. And so I'm learning those things, and you're going to be learning those things with me. If you have tips or tricks or stuff, I know some of you are going to suggest iOverland and some apps to tell you where to park, and you're going to give me suggestions. I use a lot of those apps. So, in fact, Flying J was on that app, and I think they were talking about that dirt parking lot that I ended up staying at last night. But it still was a little nerve-wracking, even though it was a sanctioned sort of free place to park. It's interesting. It's a new adventure, and I like new problems to solve, and I like new hurdles to try to work my way around. So yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to say that. Hope everything is good with all of you, and that you all are liking and subscribing and sharing. I'm actually quite happy with how this new venture is doing on this channel. I think that obviously I really expected the views to be less than they are. There is an interested community of people, you guys, that are watching this and following me. And listen, I've started from the bottom many times in life and in this YouTube channel. I am no stranger to reinvention, and so I'm reinventing the journey in some ways with the van, but I'm also continuing the journey in a lot of ways as a traveler. So some things are new, some things are not, but it's interesting to see how this channel is going to grow, and I'm going to have to retool my social media stance. Anyways, new problems to solve. Jayoe, guys, take it easy. Bye-bye.